Everybody, thank you for joining us today. My name is Juan Carlos Brando, and thank you so much for joining us on this Facebook Live show and YouTube Live show with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who has been working on the immigration field for several years, over 46 years, working, helping immigrants, helping families, helping people reunite in the United States, and giving happiness to a lot of people in the United States. So let's welcome the attorney Margaret W. Wong, and let's start the show. Feel free to ask your questions. Good afternoon, Ms. Wong. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for having us today. And well, I would like to start by talking about some stuff that is going on in the United States related to asylees or refugees. And I would like to start by making a distinction or difference between asylee and refugee. Is there a difference in the legal aspect?
Yes, there is a big difference. When we went to law school, asylum, when we went to law school, there are two words, because those were the Vietnam era, Laos, Cambodia, Indochine, the British getting rid of India. So it was a different time. So refugee means that I went to a refugee camp. I stayed there for 2 or 3 years. I won refugee. Now I come to America as a refugee, and 1 year later, I got green card. Asylum means that I came to America undocumented or documented with a tourist visa, with a student visa, and now I have a fear of going back home. So now I filed a 589 and applied for asylum, withholding, and CAT. But the standard of approval is the same. So I still have to prove I was never like the Serbians, the Montenegros at one time, but of course there's no more Montenegro. In those days, all male Serbians, they have to register for the army. But to win refugee status, you cannot be, you cannot be killing people. That's a persecutorial bar. So a lot of times we just say, oh, we're never in the army. So then you win refugee, but once you come to America, now America realize, this all a lie, because of course you join the army, because all males have to be drafted. So now they got rid of the refugee status, or they got rid of their citizen status because they have lied through it. So these are cases where there is a difference on the term, but legally the standard of proof is the same.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer and for these comments. And don't forget that you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Actually, this morning, Ms. Wong, I had an interesting question about a person that he has a daughter. They are from Venezuela. They came to the United States, and the lady didn't want to let the daughter see her dad anymore. So she's currently here in the United States. And I was thinking, is this something that we could help with? Because this gentleman wants to be able to get in touch with his daughter. And they live in Ohio, the state of Ohio.
So basically, that's more a custody and visitation issue, and not an immigration issue. So custody and visitation issue means that, for example, they hear, because when it comes to state law, you could file for custody, you can file for alimony, you can file for child support, you can file for divorce, even though you have no papers in America or papers in America. State law does not require you to have a work permit to file for custody, especially seeing your own children. Now, I think the real question is the fact that he's not allowed to see his daughter. Can we file for dependency action or warrant of court? The answer is no, because it's not like a parent abandoned, abused, or neglected the child. In this case, the father clearly wants to see the child. And the mother say, no, you cannot visit. So the father did not abandon, abuse, or neglect the child. And because these are state court action, I don't think we should abuse the system, because a lot of people will say, well, just tell them I'm not living with my father, I don't know where. But I really think that's sort of not good. Because anytime there's a good thing going, it's bad things like that that hurt the future children or the past children, because all you need is another Trump to investigate all these cases. Because it's a long process. First, we do the ward of court of dependency action. Then you have to do, it takes about 3 to 9 months, and especially Ohio is a very Republican state. And then you need the ward of court is 6 months to 9 months. And then you get the 4-year work permit, they'll take another 6 months. Now we wait for quota, because there's so many Latino kids and Indian kids and Chinese kids coming. The quota now is 2018, so you have to wait 5 years to get green card. So I think this is more a divorce issue, a custody issue. It's not an immigration issue.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And maybe we have one attorney that could help with that kind of case. One of those former prosecutors that you have in the law firm, maybe they can take care of this case. So just give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Let's start with the questions from our audience, Ms. Wong. And this question comes from Robin. He says, hello, guys.
Yes.
Okay.
No more court problem. Well, there is a court problem. So we're talking about 2 cases. One, TPS is renewed, not only renewed, you can go back in time. As long as you came to America before, I think the deadline is 2016, 2015, or 2018. As long as you came after that date, even though you have deportation, which is Department of Justice, you can renew or reapply for TPS as long as you have no criminal record. Congratulations. Yes, I would do TPS 765 to 881 to 765 and the I-131 together. Some people, to be safe, they do the advanced parole after the renewal of the TPS. Maybe that's safer. But if you want to, you could do it concurrent. Yes. Good question.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Well, the next question that we have here, but before, I want to remind everybody that the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question says, my brother has TPS. He went abroad and wasn't let in, even though he had advanced parole. What can he do now to come back to the United States?
Okay. Do me a favor, if you can let me know or tell Mr. Juan, I would love, this is a good question. This is exactly what people fear. People always fear, oh, I have 1 criminal record, I have 1 deportation order, now I get parole. Could I or could I not leave? Normally, if you already have deportation, you got parole, they should let you come back. But if you already have a deportation, worse, you also have a criminal record, they normally won't. But let me know why, because, and also which airports. Some airports are really mean. But let me know why. This is something maybe and I'm interested why, because in fact, not just most of my clients, if not all of them, come back with parole, especially if you have TPS. And sometimes it's just bad luck. Then you have to keep fighting it, and sometimes just sit in jail and let them parole you back, because they don't need to waste taxpayers' money and put you in jail.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And well, don't forget that you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. What is really impressive to me, Ms. Wong, is how fast you get the questions, how fast you get the answer, and how fast you know what it is related to. I'm still thinking about what could be this, and then you already have an answer.
When you are 73 years old, when everybody, the judges have yelled at me and screamed at me and kicked me out of the courtroom, and clients have screamed at me and filed bar association complaints, my colleagues have quit because they don't like me. I have been yelled at a lot, so I learned.
Yeah, and you have seen these cases several times. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your passion, and keep working on it. And being there for 46 years, it's awesome. It's It's just a miracle to have someone working so long for immigrants and keeping that passion. And we pray for you to be healthy for many, many years and keep going on. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Next question. I just turned 18. My case is in Florida, but I live in Atlanta. I have asylum pending. What state is better for my asylum, Florida or Atlanta? Can I bring it to
Actually,
Georgia? I am from
yeah.
Guatemala.
Okay, you should transfer the case to where you're living, but make sure you already have a work permit, because anytime you do a change of venue, time stop until the new court accepted your case. Sometimes it takes a year for transfer. So if you want to postpone the case, then we have clients who postpone every year, which is, there's something. I don't necessarily, since you already have asylum pending, the Florida new law doesn't bother you, and you are just turned 18. So I wonder where your parents are. Can you do a dependency action? So these are good questions, but the law is if you live in Atlanta, you have to do a transfer. But we always explain to clients, don't do the change of venue at least until you get the first work permit. Because once you pass 151 days, you can file. Once the approval comes after 180 days, change of venue does not stop time. And that's what stopped the time. Now, Guatemala is interesting because a lot more than 50% of Guatemalan people, for those who come to America, they speak a different dialect. You're only 18. So it's nice to know, why did you come to America together with your parents, or you came alone? Because that's an unaccompanied minor case. So your 589 should be, the court should dismiss your case, give you another chance to go to immigration, USCIS, to argue your case, and then they'll re-NTA you or put you back to court. So if you just turned 18, it seems like you already have a case in Florida, so you probably come to America before 18. You may want to do a separate case from your parents, because under 18 is easier to win, or even under 21. But this is legally you have to do change of venue. But before you do change of venue, you need to check if you already have a really good judge in Florida. Don't change it, because under the law, if you don't change venue, they may even take the case, because now a lot of people are leaving Florida. But I don't think you need to worry. You have a case pending. You're known to government. You probably already have a work permit. You gave them fingerprint. You're good.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And well, we have an interesting comment here, and it says, "I have DACA and I have advance parole approved. I have 2 deportation to false claim citizenship. Can I travel to Mexico and come back with no issues?"
That's a problem. So when you say false claim to citizenship, it's a U.S. citizen or another country. If it's a U.S. citizen, I would be careful. You need to do the FOIA and see what claim, because sometimes they'll ask you, where are you from? You say Florida or California, right? But if you didn't show them a birth certificate, you can argue it's not a false claim, because people always ask, where are you from? Instead, where you're born. So if you ask you where you're born and you say United States, then of course it's a false claim. But if they ask where you're from, you just left Florida, went back to Mexico and tried to come back illegally, then you say Florida. I don't necessarily think it's a false claim. Unless I also have some clients who apply for the audacity of applying for US passport. But you have DACA, so you are born after June 15th of 1981. So I don't think you apply for US passport. So do the FOIA, check out the 2 deportation or false claim, because then you have a 20-year bar. Maybe you should not. The answer is, should I travel? Absolutely don't travel. But the answer is, one day you want to apply for citizen. How do you get rid of false claim? Then you need a FOIA.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget, the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. 7 cities across the country, in Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Attorney Margaret W. Wong and all her team that is working for you every single day of the year and trying to help thousands and thousands of families each month to get an immigration relief. Robin has another question related to the TPS, and he says, should we worry about registering TPS for Nepal?
Absolutely apply for TPS because you only have bona fideness. It doesn't mean that you will get an approval. I mean, you should get an approval. Absolutely apply because this is a once in a lifetime. Because Trump took it away, Biden bring it back, and then Obama bring it because those are more so for the Honduras for December 1998, and also for El Salvador, which is February of 2001. You're only Nepal, but you absolutely apply. Please apply because you don't want to miss this opportunity. Because if this opportunity you don't apply, who knows when the next one will come up.
Okay, Ms. Wong, and this person says, can we apply online or it has to be paper based?
If you don't mind, go to the US because things change every day on online. I personally like paper based, especially on asylum, but this is only TPS. If they let you do online, do it online. It's easy. And you don't need a lawyer, do online. Then you just have to set up your own account. Then online, they'll tell you a receipt. You get a receipt faster and you get a work permit faster. If you want to do concurrent 131, I don't know if they did one. Then you do. It doesn't matter. Actually, the answer is it doesn't matter, but absolutely apply.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And we have another question. It says, I have asylum pending, but I got DUI, 6 speeding tickets, and 2 no license. I am from Iran. Will this kill my immigration case?
No, most Iranians and Iraqis should be approved aside. I mean, in my mind, should be. Depends on when you got the DUI and depends on when you file. Did you file within a year? Um, please stop having DUI. If you only got one, you're okay. If you get two, you're in trouble. And six, well, why? You're from Iran. That means you already get a work permit in less than 9 months. These are very good cases. Don't hurt yourself. I know sometimes you're depressed, you miss your family. You're from Iran, you'll never go back. But please don't do this to yourself. Stop. Maybe stop driving for a while. When you're not happy, you get all sorts of problems. And you're from Iran, why are you drinking anyway? It's not like you're from America, you have the privilege, You're born in America, you do whatever you want. You date a girl, you get her pregnant, no problem. But you're from Iran. This is a guest country. So you and I are very different, even though we're all Americans and we live here. Stop. For now, you are not killing the case, and maybe go see AA or go see a psychiatrist and explain why, because you went through a lot of trauma from that part of the world. Maybe explain why it does not kill your case. Get yourself a good lawyer, get certified judgment, get transcript, and go from there.
Yes, and this is very interesting and concerning as well, because we need to learn how to drive here. It's not funny to have so many tickets, and it's not something that immigration will love. And actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Wong, but 2 no license is a felony?
It depends on the state you are. In Ohio, if driving without a license, even though they have the probable cause to give you a ticket, because how do they know I don't have a license and that they stop me? Just because I look Chinese doesn't mean I'm driving without a license. A lot of times they stop you and they say, oh, you're speeding, but there's no proof. Not only that they don't give you a ticket on speeding, they give you a ticket on no license, which I think is wrong. So it depends on the state you're living in. But speeding tickets and no license each one is considered a minor misdemeanor in Ohio. You already have like 8 minor misdemeanor and speeding tickets over certain speed. Not just the money you pay, but you only also get 2 points, especially without a license. This is, I think it goes to your moral character, because in order to get asylum, you have to be a good moral character. Like if you're Palestinian or from that part of the world, you could not throw stones, which I didn't know, because people would say, oh, I never throw stones. I say, why couldn't you throw? It turned out because I didn't have weapons, so I would always throw stones on the Israelis, So these are things that I learned through the years. And also Iran, let's face it, people in America, they don't even know the difference between Iran and Iraq. And you are here, you're lucky to be here. I don't know if you came illegally or legally, because it's very hard. It's practically impossible nowadays, because most Iranians already left when the fall of the Shah. All the rich Iranians left. That was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, that's true, Ms. Wong. Thank you for sharing these comments to this person. And please just take the advice from the attorney Margaret W. Wong and try to drive carefully if you're driving. I presume that your license, or, well, you don't have a license, but your right to drive is more than prohibited right now because you don't have a license, but also you have uh, two no license convictions. So you don't want to get in trouble and get deeper into it when you are trying to get an asylum in the United States. Ms. Wong, this next question is quite a long question, but I'll read another first and then go to that one. It says, if I was waiting for 3 years to get my green card, how many years should I wait to apply for my citizenship?
That's a very good question. You could apply for asylum citizen 4 years and 1 day because they deduct the 1 year. But you need to look at your green card. Sometimes you forgot to deduct, so it's 4 years and 1 day. If they already deducted, then it's still 4 years and 1 day. You don't have to wait for the 5 years because asylum green card 4 years, marriage green card still married and living together cohabited is 3 years. All others 5 years, but asylum is 4 years.
And Ms. Wong, do those 3 years count?
No, it's stay for the green card.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't count
So,
because you spend 3 years waiting for your green card. So it's another 4 years and 1 day for your green card. But check your green card date because some green card they forgot to deduct.
okay, perfect. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please call the phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Herman says, I have a family petition F2B, but I do have a child and I am unmarried. My child father just got student visa to USA.
Let me explain to you the question. The question is, I'm single. I never married the father of my child, and I presume the child is a foreign born. The question is, my child's father wants to take custody of the child because he has a student visa. So probably he can give the child a student visa, child visa. It doesn't matter what visa your child is now, or you have a visa, because you're still single, as long as you have shared custody or full custody of the child, since you never married the father anyway, I presume you already have custody, the child could get a green card under you. I think that's your question. You don't need to mention it because you're probably from a country that doesn't believe in no marriage and a child. Don't worry about it. In America, it's accepted to be a single mother with a child. So your child could get a green card together with you as long as you have never married any other man in your life or woman in your life. The child will, even though your husband, as long as your husband gives you shared custody, or you get full custody, the child can come with you. And for his sake, he should let you have it because one day he only have a student visa, the father. So if the child become over 21 and became a citizen after 18, the child can sponsor him because the father is a legal entry overstay and he's the father. He don't need to marry you to become a real father. He's already a father. His name has a birth certificate. For his benefit, he should let the child have a child and we have green card. Because when a child is over 18, if you're already a citizen, the child could be a citizen. When the child is over 21, the child can give him a green card. That's how people do it. You don't have to get married to have sex. No problem. You are fine. I presume you're from India or from a country that's very conservative. It's okay to have a child, even though as long as you're never married.
Yeah, Hemant Kanal is the name of this person. Thank you so much for the question. And next question is, what do you recommend for me? Do I fix the 2 deportations to false claim citizenship? I use a birth certificate to a U.S. citizen. Second deportation or a false claim to citizenship.
Get a copy of the FOIA. The most important FOIA you need is a 213 on the CBP. So you should have 213s. 2 times 213s on that day and get CBP, check it. There's no way you can get rid of it. Because one thing nice about America is everything is a record. It's not like in Iran or somewhere that you can pay someone. Actually, Iran you couldn't, but it's not like some country where you pay someone and disappear. In America, it's already in the system. There's no way to fix if you did give it, but check the 213. Don't assume you did, unless you have to know what your enemies think, and then figure out the art of war. For now, enjoy TPS. Don't travel. Enjoy your DACA. Don't travel, and go from there. It's fine. Get the 213, and you don't need to fight the case now. You already get DACA. Okay, but you may have to fight the case one day if new law come in. But new law come in is the Dignity Act. Is if you have been here more than 5 years to get a work permit, it's not even a green card. You will have to fight this case when one day there's a chance for you to get a green card. But for you, it's hard because you don't have a parole. You probably came undocumented. The third time you're successful. Don't worry about fighting it. I mean, just get the 213, sit on it. I think you'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And well, these are things that sometimes people do this because they want to work, Ms. Wong. But how bad is if I'm walking on the road and I have my phony documents in my pocket? Police stops me for some reason and they find out that I have that phony identification.
Right. The trick to that. I shouldn't tell you all the tricks. You're gonna think I'm such a bad lawyer. But I always advise my clients, the only way they normally find out if you have multiple IDs in your purse, right? Because you had, for example, a work permit under another name, you got a driver's license under that name. But now, especially in Atlanta, you couldn't do it because they do eyes, they do fingerprint. In those days, they don't check fingerprint. So number one, never have multiple IDs. So if you have a driver's license under this name, never carry a driver's license from another name from another state, which happens all the time to my clients. I think that's so stupid because they want to be honest, but they don't put everything. But sometimes the police are mean. They'll take your purse or your bag and check all the ID, which they shouldn't because there's no probable cause, but that's what they do. So you have to know what they do to fight back, number one. Number two is if they say, is this your ID? And it's up to you. I mean, you may want to lie and say yes, but if they normally don't ask, because whenever I get stopped for a ticket, I show them my ID. They look at it and give me a ticket, right? They would never thought of asking, is that you, right? Because so normally, and even if they get you on no driver's license, you need to go to court. The first hearing normally is an arraignment, even though it's only a no driver's license. A speeding ticket. So you should always, if you want to fight your case, go there and say, I'm not guilty. They'll give you a new date. But if you represent yourself, because these are just traffic tickets, if I were you, I would talk to a prosecutor and say, hey, I only have DACA. I really need this. Sometimes they feel bad for you. I mean, don't do it too often, but the first or second time they'll help you because prosecutors are really, I mean, if we tell them we have a problem, they'll be nice. The thing they hate is you insist that's you when that's not you. But normally, if you don't have multiple ID in your purse, they won't ask, is that your real ID? But don't use different ID because nowadays it's not just the ID. They're checking your eyes. They, it's like in the airport now. They check everything.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answers. And our time is up for today. So thank you so much for sharing with us, for having our show today in English, and looking forward to see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And for everybody who has been sending their questions, please feel free to call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Attorney Margaret W. Wong, with over 46 years of experience working on the immigration field and helping thousands of families in the United States. Thank you so much and have a good lunch.